Hello friends, welcome to my channel, and today we'll discuss about the AWS Elastic IP address, which we call a static public IP address. So let's go to the first understand the basic characteristics of the Elastic IP address. So what are the things? So like we told that Elastic IP address is a static public IP address, and it doesn't change whether you stop it or you restart your instance, right? You can use the Elastic IP address in a specific region. You can't go beyond the region. So when we take the Elastic IP, either you can take it from your Amazon pool's IPv4 address, or you can use it from the your custom IPv4 address pool that you call it a brought to your that you have brought your AWS account, right? So when you allocate Elastic IP address, first you assign it to your account, and then after that you assign it to whether it's a network interface or your instance, right? So whenever you associated any Elastic IP address with an instance, it is associated with your instance primary network interface. So whatever it is your primary interface, it will be assigned to that one only, right? So it is attached to your instance, right? When you associated your Elastic IP address with an instance primary network interface, so the instance public IP for address is released back into the, if you want to release it, then it will release to from where it came, whether it is came from your custom IPv4 address or it came from the Amazon public pool, right? So it will release over there only. You can if you want to suppose there is an instance in which Elastic IP is assigned, and now you don't require that Elastic IP on that particular instance. Now you assign that Elastic IP address to other instance. So what you can do, you can disassociate it, right? That Elastic IP address from the resource from that instance, and then you can again associate it, that Elastic IP address to the other instance. That way you can use it. So when you disassociate it, any Elastic IP address from any source, any instance, so it will remain there in your account, right? So it is not like that you detach or disassociated IP, Elastic IP from instance, and it will go away. No, it's not like that. It will remain in your account. And if you want to remove it from your account as well, you have to release that one, right? So when you associate Elastic IP address with an instance that is, previously had a public IP4 address, right? So it will change, right? It'll that IP4, we'll see it in the our demo, right? And the same happen with the DNS host name as well. So it'll, if once you will assign the Elastic IP address, it will automatically get changed, right? So when you allocate an Elastic IP address from an IP address pool that you have brought to your AWS account, it doesn't count toward your Elastic IP address limit. So suppose you have a 5 Elastic IP address you have already assigned in your account, and now you have one more IP which is not from your IPv4 pool, it is from the outside, from your custom IPv4, then you can use that, because the limitation is only for the Amazon IPv4 pool, right? The last thing about the characteristics, when you allocate an Elastic IPv4 address, you can associate that Elastic IPv4 address with a network border group. So basically, you assign it with you associate it with the network border group. This is the location. Basically, what is that network border group? This is the location from which we advertise the CIDR block, our classless internet domain routing. That is, it is located over there. Setting the network border group limits the CIDR block of this group. If you don't specify the network border group, so we set the border group containing all of the AG, right? So by default, AWS will do that, right? With all the AZ, it will be there. Now let's go to the pricing. What will happen? So suppose you have assigned an Elastic IP4 address to your instance. If it is running instance, then your first Elastic IP address will IPv4 address will be free, and then if you will assign more Elastic IPv4 address, then that will be chargeable. But if you have Elastic IPv4 address in your account and you didn't attach it with any resource, any instance, right? Or you have attached it to any instance which is in the stop state, in that case, you will be chargeable, right? Now, is it possible to transfer Elastic IPv4 address from one account to other account? Yes, it is possible, but it should be within a region. So do we have any kind of requirements as the? Yes, when we do have a disaster recovery, when we have some security centralized administration we are doing, or when we have a organizational kind of a restructuring. So in that case, we can do that, and there is no charges for it. So is there any limit for Elastic IPv4 address? Yes, there is a limit. Maximum you may have 5 Elastic IPv4 address in your region. Okay. Now that's enough theoretical part. Let's go to the practical one. So I'm in the AWS console. I have one instance which is already running, and if you will see, so it is having public IPv4 address. So one thing, Elastic IPv address, it is only available in a IPv4 class, right? So you can see that 18.204.149.11, right? This is the public IP. So let's go to the Elastic IP. So we don't have any Elastic IP. First, we will allocate Elastic IP. If you'll see, we do have a network instance, network border group. So because we are in the US East 1, North Virginia, so it will create a CIDR block on this one. If you will not assign it, so by default it will cover all the AZs, right? We are assigning it from Amazon's pool IPv4 address, right? And let's go to the allocate. So basically, we are going to allocate it to the account, right? So we have this IP, right? This is the IP address. This is network border group, right? Now, I want to attach this Elastic IPv4. So in this scenario, I have Elastic IPv4 address, but it is not associated to any instance. If I leave it as it is, and it is only one, but yes, it will be chargeable. But if I will go like we discussed earlier, and if I associate this IPv4 to any instance, so we do have it we can associate it two ways, instance wise or network interface wise. I will select for the, so it will show you all the instances which are running in the public IPv4 right public subnet, and which are whom doesn't have Elastic IP address, right? So I just assign it, mention it, and then I associated it. So you will see that it has been associated, and you got it, the account of that associated ID and associated instance ID. So now, if you'll see the IP 54.236, right? Now, if you'll see, the IP of this one has been changed. So earlier it was 18.205. Now, because I didn't refresh it, if I will refresh it, this is the IP. So in this case, when we have only one Elastic IP address and it is attached with instance, in this case, it is free. It will not be chargeable. Okay. I hope we got it. Let me show you one more thing. If you want to transfer, like we discussed earlier, right? If you want to transfer it to the other account within the same region, then you can do it. You can just, mention the account ID and then enable, and then you can submit it. That way you can assign it, right? Now, what we are going to do, we are going to release or disassociate, not release first. First, we have to detach. You can say, you can understand like that. We are detaching Elastic IPv4, right? Go to the networking and then disassociate Elastic IP address, right? It will give you that this is the instance ID, this is the network, and this is the IP, right? Now, what I'm doing, I am releasing it from instance. So what will happen? Elastic IPv address, it will release and you got a new IP address, right? But this Elastic IP will not go away. Why? Because it has been disassociated from the instance, not from the account. So it is still exists in the account. So if you want to remove it from the account, in that case, you have to release it. So we will release it. Now, after releasing, it will go away from your account, right? And that's all from for now. Okay. If you have any question, any doubt, please put it in the comment section. I will provide some reference link, right, from where you can go through it and you can elaborate if you want to know more about it, right? So I hope you got something from this, this session. Happy learning.